Good evening. Good evening. Hope you all are well. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy evenings to join us tonight. As most of you know, I've spoken with you via text, via email, different things like that in regards to what we are sharing tonight, but just wanted to zone in and let you guys get some more detailed information from an expert who I have on the line with us. She's going to go into more of what this stem cell technology is about. She and her husband started this journey with this stem cell technology just a few short months ago. And because of her dedication and her commitment and her hard work on this project, she has already touched thousands of lives. And she has done this in just this short time, like I said. She is a 7-figure earner in a home-based business industry and also the top producer in this company. So without further ado, again, thank you for joining us, but let me introduce you to our star of the evening, Miss Verdita Monk.
Well, Cyndrea, thank you so much for that awesome introduction. And I want to thank you so much for taking out the time to make sure that you invited people that you really cared about to hear this information. I also want to thank Miss Bonita Cates for her dedication and hard work in coordinating this call. This is a team effort, and we really appreciate you all's time. I know that everybody's busy. Again, my name is Verdita Monk. I am out of the Atlanta area, and my husband and I have been in LifeWave International, which you're going to hear more about very shortly. Cyndrea probably told you that this call was about stem cell technology, and that is very, very important. And that's why she made it an effort to reach out to some people as quickly as possible, so they can hear about this as well. I know that by the time you get off of this call, you're going to be so compelled to tell everybody you know, because the information we're going to share with you is literally life-changing. So I'm going to get right into it because we want to respect your time. And the first question I want to ask everybody is, have you been patched? That's the golden question right now, because if you've been patched, you will notice that your body has been elevated. Your stem cells have been reactivated and is regenerating your whole body. We're talking about this patch that you see right on this lady's arm right here. And I have it in my hand right now. It's about the size of a quarter. And literally it's just a really tiny patch, but it does so much. And I'm going to tell you why this patch is so important and why it does so much. Why is the X39 stem cell activation patch? Why is it important? Well, let me just tell you this. Our whole body is made up of stem cells. Every part of our body, whether it's our liver, whether it's our heart, whether it's our eyes, our hair, our skin, everything is made up of stem cells. But as we get older, those stem cells start dying off and become dormant. So that by the time we're age 30, half of them are inactive. And by the time we're age 60, almost all of them are inactive. And this is why, as we get older, we are healing slower. I just went to a family reunion, and, the older people, the 60, 70, 80-year-olds, they love to come to the family reunions, but many of them are on canes, literally, and in wheelchairs. That's just let you know that the older people get, the slower they heal. That's a perfect example. Now, let me explain to you how this patch works. When you put this patch on, first of all, nothing is going into your body. It's non-transdermal. And that's what's so amazing about it, because, people are hesitant about putting things into their body. What most of you may know about stem cell technology, most people get injections, or different things in their bodies that may or may not work. Another thing about those injections is they're very expensive, anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. I even heard of people getting injections that cost over $100,000. And so there's no guarantee. Only about 30% of the time do the injections work, but people are desperate because they have issues that are going on that doctors cannot take care of. That doctors cannot help them with those situations, but they're in so much pain or so much distress that they're saving up money and flying outside of this country just to get injections. Well, you don't have to do that now because of this patch. Let me tell you how this patch works. Again, it's non-transdermal, meaning nothing goes into your body. But what does happen is this: the center of this patch is made up of organic nanocrystals. These crystals are made in a lab. They're made of crystals like salt or sugar, but I mean, that's not what's in the crystals, but that's, you know, what I mean. I mean, it's in the patch, but it's like salt or sugar type of crystals. And when you put this patch on, you're going to put it anywhere on your body. It could be on your arm, it could be on the back of your neck, it could be below your belly button, on your leg, anywhere. And when you put this patch on, what happens, the copper peptides that are already in your body begin to activate and elevate. It was proven by a scientist years ago named Lauren Picard that whenever you activate or elevate the copper peptides that are in your body, it's going to reactivate your stem cells. Well, the problem with his discovery was that they said nobody could do it. Yes, it was going to reactivate your stem cells, but how are we going to do that? Nobody, until the scientists that I'm going to tell you about in a moment. But copper peptide is considered the holy grail of anti-aging. Now, when this patch was created by a company called LifeWave, this company represents the patch rather. This company was a 19-year-old company. And when this patch came about in 2017, I believe, well, 2021 was when it came out, the company grew from $20 million up to $280 million in 2 years. That's an indication that this patch was phenomenal. And it's just so amazing that people are chasing us down just to get a hold of these patches. So we grew to over 75 countries. But here is the scientist and inventor that I was referring to. His name is David Schmidt. And this person, this gentleman, is just literally a genius. As I said, they said no one could ever come up with a way to reactivate our own stem cells, but he did it. It took him 10 years and over 80 case studies to prove it. Because whenever, and this is a patent, this patch is patented, and he's a 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award and of the International Hall of Fame. Once again, it's patented, meaning there's no other company besides LifeWave that can market this technology for the next 17 years. So LifeWave has an exclusive on this technology. Now, how do you wear the patch? You wear it 12 hours on, you put it 12 hours off. And I told you could put it anywhere on your body, but in this diagram, you see 2 locations. And the reason they highlight these 2 locations is because those 80 case studies that I was talking about, in those case studies, they have to be consistent. You have to prove that this works when you're doing a patent, and therefore it has to be consistent. So everybody chose these 2 locations, but you can put it anywhere. If you have pain in your knee, you can put it on your knee. You got, issues, other issues, you can put it in those locations as well. You wear it for 12 hours, throw it away. And while you're doing this, you guys, you're want to be drinking plenty of water. 12 hours, the 12 hours later, after you've taken it off, you put it back on the next 12 hours. So if you start at 8 o'clock in the morning, take it off at 8 at night, again, 8 the next morning. Very important that you hydrate. Now, here's some of the things that you're going to experience, or you may experience when you wear these patches, is because, I will say this, we cannot use the words that we are curing or mitigating or healing anything, because, that's not what's happening. What's happening is the patch is reflecting off of the light of your body, and it's reactivating the stem cells. And just to give you a demonstration, you know how the heat from, the light from the sun comes down and it elevates your vitamin D. So vitamin D is not floating through the air, but your body is responding to the light of the sun, and it elevates the vitamin D in your body. That's the same thing happens here. Your body's reflecting off the light of these patches, and it goes through a process called photobiomodulation, which is how those stem cells reactivated. But what could happen when you get your stem cells reactivated? You may experience rapid pain relief. You may experience reduced inflammation. It supports wound healing, energy and vitality, and mental clarity. It enhances sports performance, faster recovery from exercise, and improved skin appearance. But there's so many more things that this patch is doing for people, and we're going to allow you to hear that kind of information in a moment. But I want you to take a look at this diagram right here, this topography map. And this was where they took a 77-year-old woman. It was one of the case studies. They put the patch on the back of her neck and they looked at her brain. Look at the first diagram in session 1, where all that orange area, that is the inflammation that was in her brain when she first started wearing the patch. 2 weeks later, they looked at it again, and all the inflammation was gone. So the lighter areas where the the stem cells started being reactivated. But by the time they got to the session 3, which is 2 weeks later, look how much stem cell activity is in the brain. But that's what's happening to our brains as well when we start wearing this patch. So this is very, very, interesting. Now, let me share with you some of the long-term results as a result of the 80 case studies. I told you these case studies were all over the world, taken all over the world by some of the world's best physicians. And all of those case studies are posted on a site called Start X39. We have a lot of doctors that are joining our company because of the tremendous benefits of this patch. So the Start X39 website is where you want to go to get more information. But what happens when you start wearing the patch in the first few days? About 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced and it starts decreasing the symptoms of PTSD and anxiety and depression, things like that. Within 3 months, your collagen begins to increase. So the wrinkles in our skin start decreasing, the hair start, these young people, they don't know anything about that. But as we get older, we start getting wrinkles, our hair starts going bald and different things like that. But the structural integrity of your skeletal and muscular system starts increasing. As we get older, especially people who are in their 80s and 90s, you don't want them to fall, because if they fall, their bones begin to break and they can't heal themselves. And so this is very important that the structural integrity of our skeletal system is increasing. And that's what it starts doing within 3 months, you guys. Within 6 months, the heart begins to reverse in age. It shows here that in a recent study, 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age. That means their heart age, the age of their heart, by an average of 8 years for every 6 months they were using the patch. And I want to insert a quick testimony right here about a friend of ours named Jeffrey, who was on a pacemaker when he started wearing the patch in November of 2022. And he had just seen his cardiologist, which he had to see every 6 months. After wearing this patch, he went back to the cardiologist in January of this year, and the cardiologist was able to, tell by the test or whatever, monitor. Okay, we need to mute everyone. Thank you. The cardiologist was able to say that he was no longer relying on the pacemaker. Isn't that amazing? He said, you don't have to come back until 2024. That's how well he was doing just after 6 weeks of wearing the patch. So we have a lot to look forward to. I'm sure you can think of people right now that have heart conditions as well as pacemakers and some of the other things that we're showing on the screen. But again, the website that you can go to review more case studies and more testimonies is on this site called startx39.com. Here's just a visual of some of the things I talked about earlier about, wound healing. Look at this wound on this lady's face. 21 days later, look at how it is pretty much almost disappeared. And then people whose wrinkles were more prominent by almost a year later, look at her face. It's much smoother. The baldness has started going away when people started, wearing the patch. Their hair started getting thicker. That's just a visual of what, the page I was just showing with you, share it. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to allow some people to come on who can give some real life testimonies. These are people we know who recently started wearing this patch. So the first person I want to call on is Miss Brenda Stanley. Brenda, do you mind coming on, sharing your video and unmuting yourself and sharing your powerful testimony?
Okay, yes, thank you, Radita. I am an ICU nurse, and I've been an ICU nurse for, I've been a nurse for over 30 years. And I heard about stem cell research, by working in the hospital and working in the transplant unit. Anyway, I first heard about the stem cell technology through my sister Linda. She sent me a few patches in the mail because I was complaining of leg pain. And so I did put them on my leg because I had been back and forth to the doctor, and I was on different medications, muscle relaxers, Percocet, you name it, they prescribed it, and it wasn't getting any better. So she sent me some patches, and I called her the following day, 2 days later, and I was like, "You won't believe I'm up walking." And I was like, wow. So that really convinced me, and I did some research myself about the patch. So fast forward a few months later, in February of this year, I found myself having difficulty breathing, and severe pain in my chest. So I was rushed to the emergency room at one of the local hospitals. And after a few tests, they said that I had a saddle pulmonary embolism, which is a life-threatening blood clot. And they said it was straddling both pulmonary arteries, and it was distorting my heart. My heart was under strain. My blood pressure was 80. And so they rushed me to the ICU in one hospital. And then they said I couldn't stay there because my condition was so serious that I had to be in a different hospital in the event that the clots broke off and completely occluded my pulmonary artery, occluded both lungs, I should say. So of course, you know, that means not breathe. And so when I was rushed to by ambulance to another hospital, and I was in the ICU, the doctors came in, and the doctor did tell me that, you know, your prognosis is very bad, and you need to go ahead and call somebody to sign some paperwork. She said, because I think that you will arrest tonight. You know, your heart's going to stop. And do you want us to resuscitate you? And what do you want us to do? And I'm sitting there, it was so surreal. I'm like, I know they did not just say I have a saddle pulmonary embolism, and I know what that is. And they said, and it's huge, it's so large. They said, as a matter of fact, if you had stayed home one more day, you wouldn't even be in the hospital, you would be in the morgue. So nevertheless, when my sister came, I asked her to bring me a patch. And I'm a person who have faith, and I believe in science. And I do not believe that one cancels out the other. And I knew what the patch had done for my leg. And a friend of mine had said, you know, God is going to heal you. By what method? I didn't know, but I believed it. And so I told my sister, I said, when you come, bring me a patch. I'll put it on myself. And I did. And when she came out to sign the paperwork, I put the patch on. And long story short, when I got ready to be, well, when they were trying to decide whether or not to discharge me from the hospital, they said, well, you're going to be short of breath for 6 months, and, you know, you probably won't be able to ambulate far, and you won't be able to do this, and, you know, and the clot could possibly break off. And they also brought the interventional radiologist in, who said that you're not a candidate for the removal of the clot because of your age, and you run the risk of having a brain bleed if we do it. So I decided, well, okay, I'll just take the medical route. And of course, they had me on blood thinners, et cetera. And so they sent the therapist and the occupational therapist in to see, you know, what was my strength and, you know, if I could walk. And not only did I walk once or twice or three laps around the unit, I also went up and down the stairs. And they were not expecting that. And then fast forward again, my cardiologist had me to come in June, which is like 4 months later, and he did an echocardiogram, and he put the two side by side. The previous one, where I had dilated ventricles and just everything that could be wrong was wrong with my heart. And he repeated it in June, and he came in and he was all smiles, and he was like, everything is gone. I said, what? He said, there's no clot. There's no residuals of a clot. There is no pulmonary hypertension. Your right ventricle is back to normal. Your ejection fraction is normal. He said, I'll see you in 6 months. And he was just smiling from ear to ear. And Linda said, you should have told him you've been using the patch. I said, I think he was very shocked because he told my boyfriend, he said she was in bad shape. And so I think that the patch did exactly what it needed to do for my heart, along with the prayers and everything. Mhm. Thank you.
Wow, Brenda, I bet you're never going to be without that patch again, are you?
Oh, no. If I, no.
Brenda, I believe you're muted. Did you just mute yourself?
I said I have dug down in my purse to make sure I've had my patches. I take them with me everywhere.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Brenda, for sharing that testimony. I tell you what, people, you're going to realize on this call that this patch is saving people's lives, saving lives. This is why this is so important. Thank you so much, Brenda. You can stop your video now. The next person I want to ask if you can unmute yourself and share your video is Sid Sophie. Can you share your testimony? Unmute yourself, please. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everybody.
I can hear you.
My name is Sichofe Kledo, and I'm a fashion designer in New Jersey. And on the 4th of July, so I'm pretty new, very, very new. I spoke to Benita. She's been a long time friend. We haven't spoken in a long time, but she reached out and we chat on Facebook. And then she said she wanted to send me something to look at. And immediately I looked at it and I said, no, this is a no-brainer. I've had surgery 3 months ago. And so after the surgery, I developed blood pressure running up to 188 over 100. Like the bottom is up, the top is up, back and forth. Finally, emergency room. Yeah, all of that came in and I was put on amlodipine, 10 milligrams. And even after taking it in the morning, by afternoon, it's up and I can't repeat it. So I went shopping for a lot of natural remedies for blood pressure reduction. And all of this are not cheap, like the prescription ones, all of it. And so when she said it, and I know what stem cells are, and looking at the definition, the explanation about the sun, how we get vitamin D, not because there's vitamin D in the sun, but once you are in the sun, it activates your natural vitamin D. It's nothing like swallowing pills that it gets to a point you can't swallow anymore. You get tired of it, you leave it, you try this, and all these prescriptions give us other diseases whilst trying to cure what you are in for. So I found that it was a no-brainer. And because I always have like back pains. I know I have rheumatoid arthritis, so I have wrist pains. My fingers get inflamed. I have a fifth vertebra herniated disc, so I'm always in pain anyway. So when she told me, I said no. She wanted to send me a sample. I said immediately send it to me. She sent it the next day on the 5th. It got to me on the 7th, which was Friday, and I was busy sewing. I had clients with me. She called me, said, I'm sure your package has been delivered. I said, I haven't checked, but I'll check. But I was too busy and I didn't go check. And then Saturday morning when I woke up, because I had worked so much, the pain from my neck going to my shoulder, I can't turn my neck. So when I turn, it's like needles going through. So immediately you have to turn your head back. And then, so when I started working Saturday morning, I remembered, no, she said she has sent me a package. So I immediately ran to the mailbox and lo and behold, the package was there. So I applied it in the back of my neck. And within 2 hours, I wasn't feeling that pain anymore. So I called her and I told her, I think this thing is working because I have muscle relaxers. I have other pain medications, but they make me drowsy. And with my work, I can't be drowsy, so I don't take them. So I'm always in pain. And so when I had that, I said, no, this thing might be good. So she said, if it's getting okay for you, then why not order your own so that you don't break, like you can continue using it. I said, okay. So she sent me the information. As a matter of fact, I was busy. It took her a while at the end, I had to let my daughter come in and do the registration and everything. So I went with the silver package. My father is very sick. He can't walk. Doctors say his nerves in the legs are dead. So when he walks, the foot throws him off. So I bought a package for my dad. I bought a package for my husband and myself. So we've been on for 12 days now. And for about a month now, when I wake up between 5, 6 that way, every time I have very severe headache that without any pain medication, it will not stop. So, and then when I touch my head, like not hit my head, but just touch it like this, I feel the pain here. And my mom is like, you need to go to see a doctor. You don't know what is going on with all your blood pressure and all of these things. So I said, okay, but trust me, you can hear me hit my head. There's no pain. And for 7 days now, I've not taken any pain medication for the headache. No medication for my neck pain. I can turn my neck all around. So I know this is a no-brainer. I was told, and then when I read, it goes with your age. At least if you are 40, give it 4 months to start seeing real results. I always tell people, if you have something that has stayed that long, don't expect miracles. We are anxious, we are in pain. So of course we want to see results immediately. But I think you should give it time, because if your cells have to regenerate themselves, it won't take a day. It will take time. So sometimes the results, it's fixing something inside that you wouldn't see outside. So you give it time and definitely you see results. So this, for me, was God sent. So that's the little I have. There's more to come, but that's just a little I have to say for now.
Well, thank you so much, Sid Sophie. I'm so glad you're having so much success, and hopefully your family is as well. We have one more testimony, and we're going to get into some other things. So thank you so much, Sid Sophie. We're going to bring up Brian Conaway. Brian, would you unmute yourself and share your testimony as well, and share your video? Brian, there you go.
Good evening. How y'all doing? I just started taking the patch about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, maybe. I feel very invigorated by this patch. I got introduced to it from my nephew, and he introduced me to Nita. And it's been, I'll tell you what happened with me. One of the reasons. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I guess it's hereditary. Because I don't, even when I was young, I didn't put a whole lot. I still don't put a whole lot of salt on my food. I don't. And when I found out about it, I was like, wow. And it stayed high for a while. And I was very concerned about it. Since I started using a patch, I was going to see the cardiologist, going back and forth. And the last few times that I was there, because I'm supposed to go see him. I haven't seen him in like 3 months. And I have a doctor's appointment with him in about 2 weeks. And since I've been taking, the last time I saw him, he said I didn't have to see him, for a while, because he took my blood pressure in both arms, and both of us, was regular. And, he was looking like, what's going on, what's happening? And I didn't say anything to him. I just, was amazed and happy that, my blood pressure was down, because I know high blood pressure is a silent killer. I like to work out. I'm 65 now, just turned 65 this year. And since I've been taking a patch, after my workouts, I try to schedule when I wear the patch after I work out. And while I'm doing that, when I do that, I feel very invigorated. It's like I feel my body healing. And, I'm going to continue on taking a patch, and I'm going to continue on, doing the things that I love to do. I ride my bike, I dance. I like club dancing. dance for 2.5 hours. I work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. I go swimming, work out in the pool. And since I've been taking the patch, I've been, like I said, invigorated. I feel much better after workout, before workout. It's been amazing, and I really appreciate the fact that my nephew introduced me to it, and I really appreciate the fact that Benita. I've been having phone problems, and Benita makes sure that she gets in contact with me, and I really appreciate that. I'm going to continue on, using the patch, and I believe, definitely believe my body is healing, and I'm getting better, and it's very soothing for me to know that my body is regenerating. It's my body is doing the things that it needs to do as I get older. Like I said, I'm 65, and I just love it. Thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Brian, for sharing this amazing testimony. We're all going to just be younger. We don't know we're going to do it ourselves. So thank you so much for sharing that. And you can stop your video and stop your mic as well. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to the presentation so that we can, see some exciting information, because I know everybody on this call, based on what you heard that happened to Brenda, based on what you heard that happened with Sophie, as well as Brian, you are wondering, how can I get a hold of some of these patches? And I'm telling you, it's so affordable. You're not going to believe this, because these patches literally should be, according to Brian, according to David Schmidt, these should be priced out at $400 per month at least. But because he wants to reach as many people all over the world and help people become healthy, he's pricing these things at $99 for a 30-day supply. So you see some packages displayed on the screen right here. If you you just want to try one sleeve because you just want to try it, you can get a sleeve for $125. That is including a $25 starter kit. Or you can also be a retail customer, but you're going to pay about $25 more. And that's why we highly recommend people to get a package, a bronze package, if they just want to try one sleeve. We also have a preferred customers package, but you've got to stay, be committed for 6 months in order to get the reduced price. So we highly recommend the bronze package because you have a little bit more flexibility. But the silver package will allow you, if you're married, you may want to get a 30-day supply for your spouse, or just like, Sid Sophie talked about, letting somebody else use, you may want to share some with a relative or something. Now you have extra patches. So a 90-day supply would be $100 per patch. Not the $125 as the bronze package. The gold package, the platinum, and the diamonds, those are packages for people who know that they want to share with other people, but they also want to make some serious money. And we have a dynamic compensation plan in place for you, because we want to reward you. The company wants to reward us very well for our efforts. But more importantly, you're going to have more patches to sample out and share with other people. And so you may have gotten a text message with a picture of this application, because it tells you all the information we need to get you in the system. Or someone may send you a link where you can go to their site and order whichever one of these packages you want. This is just a picturesque view of the different packages. One thing I will say, if you decide you want to get a diamond package, which is the largest package, you're literally getting 3 free sleeves, because it costs $1,600. But remember, each sleeve costs $100. So that's a $1,600, but you're getting a $1,900 value. Additionally to that, anyone who purchases a diamond package from you, say if you told this to a doctor, and all doctors that I know of on my team are getting the diamond package, right? If they get the diamond package, instead of you making $200 when they purchase this package, the company will pay you $500. And therefore, that's a good value. So just keep that in mind, but we'll go over that more details if you decide you want to, get a package. But I'm pretty sure that everybody on this phone, on this call, family is number one in your life. And so being able to help your family by introducing something that's going to enhance their health and improve their health is very important, but also to be able to have time freedom, because if you decide to want to partner with us and become an ambassador like we are and share this, you're going to have more time freedom to do the things you want to do, because guess what? Now you have a decision. My husband and I personally have gotten to the point in this business this business venture that we started back in November. We're at a point now where we could make a decision right now to stop everything we're doing and do this full time, because it has exceeded the income that we make full time on our jobs. I'm an interior designer. I'm very, very busy. My husband is in economic development, but what we earn full time in our careers, this opportunity the income from this opportunity has exceeded that. So therefore we have options, right? And I'm saying that we can help you do that as well. Okay. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just letting you know that this is how lucrative it can be. But I want you to put your business hat on now. I want you to put your servant hat on as well, because this is about helping people. In this business, you will not make money unless you help other people, and you help them by exposing them to this information and sharing these patches with them. So the stem cell industry is becoming much more popular now, and people are realizing the importance of healthy stem cells, especially in the medical community. They are recognizing this. And so this industry is expected to explode. Listen to this, from 200 million to 300 billion. And I believe they say it's about within the next 5 to 7 years. That sounds like opportunity to me. And therefore, LifeWave is on the forefront of this. And remember, they said it could never be done. So you have the choice, people have the choice now to go get an injection, or they have a choice of getting the patch. All right, we choose the patch because it's affordable and safer. So here's how the company is going to compensate you. Remember, I showed you how you get compensated when people buy those different packages, but another way that we get compensated is a very exciting way. As you introduce people to this, let's say, for example, Cyndrea invited you and you decided you wanted to join her team, that the company will allow you to place you on her left side or her right side, because we each are building two teams, a left team and a right team. But everything that Cyndrea does on her left team, because you're right here, you're going to benefit from everything she does, meaning the volume that's generated from all these packages that people are buying. You're going to get all of that. I mean, it's all roll up to you. It's crazy, isn't it? And then the people on your right side, if you're on her right side, same thing. You can literally earn up to $25,000 per week in this binary, and people are doing it. This is a legitimate business. You're going to get a 1099, and you're going to have the ability to earn up to $25,000 a week just in this way of earning alone. Okay, but here's the part that excites me, the matching bonus, because it is unlimited. In other words, you can tell as many people about this as you want, and the company's going to pay you not only from the packages they purchase, but also the binary commissions that are generated as they introduce to other people. Whatever they earn in that binary, they're going to be on your first level, and you're going to earn 25% of their binary commissions. Let's just say that Cyndrea introduced you to this business, you fall on her first level, and you earn $1,000. Well, Cyndrea will earn $250 because she's going to get 25% of what you earn in the binary. But let's say you go and introduce Brian to the business, and Brian come in this week. This is every week, you guys. He earns $1,000. You get 20% of that. That's $200. But then Brian turns around and introduces Brenda. Brenda's on your third level. And then you will get 20% of her 1,000. Let's say if she earned 1,000. Let's say Brenda earned 5,000. What's 20% of 5,000? It's $1,000. That's why this is so exciting. But for every single person that you introduce this to, and they start making binary commissions, you will start earning percentages based on first, second, and third level of activity under you. So this is very exciting, and it's changing our lives financially. We have different tools in place so that you could receive these patches in the mail. You can get these tools from, a site that we have called Bill 331. But Bill 331 pretty much is the system that we're using to build this team. And, you know, everything is in place for you. All you have to do is raise your hand and say, I'm ready, and we will get you going. We'll do a call just like this for you so that you can invite your friends and you get paid every single time people, you know, join your team. I just want to throw this in there for anybody who people have people joining left and right, and they're real anxious to go to this convention August 18th and 19th called This Is It, because the founder, Mr. David Schmidt himself, is going to be there, and he's going to make some huge announcements because he is busy in the lab with more creations. So with that being the case, I want to thank you all for your time. I want to you know, just welcome you to the team, because I know you're ready to get started. Let me put this back. I'm trying to get out of this screen here. But with that being the case, we're going to end the call tonight, and we will see you all very soon. You may get a call within the next 24 hours from Cyndrea, and let her know whether you're ready to go and what package you want to get. So thank you again for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.